It's a great time to be long crypto and believe in something. This is a realistic depiction of the land down under. I would like to tell you something, friends. It's been a very, very, very long, rough, gruesome, underperforming business cycle so far. But you got to remember, if we want the high upsides, you need a lot of these question marks. Now, of course, I don't like question marks. No one does. That's uncertainty. That's fear. But in markets, the more question marks there are, the higher your upside. Because people want to join confirmation. Nobody wants to be first. Everybody wants to be second. Believe if you want to win in cryptocurrency, you have to believe. I love this picture out here, Pikachu, talking to his friends, little cute Charmander out here. I have to believe in myself more. You know, early Bitcoin, early Ethereum, everything that we know that become household names for big pumpers, it was always the same story at the start. Nobody had any idea what the future held. And like, yeah, it looks easy when you look at a chart, but imagine you put a couple of $1,000s into Bitcoin or Ethereum, and now it's like 1.5 million. Now you have a decision. Do you like sell and exit, or do you believe in the future? You know? Well, people who believed in the future, they ended up winning. Everyone who sold lost. And that creates fear in everybody else's hearts. Remember this period of time, the first ever contact between Pokemon and a human, memes, cults, religions. That's the fundamental thesis of cryptocurrency, right? A lot of new people are coming in. They're trying to value crypto based off cash flow and business activity. And they pretty much get their ass handed to them because nobody gives a shit. No one cares. Oh, this thing doesn't make money. Okay, friends, people own a lot of stuff in this world that they don't make money from. For example, your own home. Would you sell your own home for nothing? Like you're like, oh, it's making you no income. No, you wouldn't. So it's the same thing with cryptocurrency. It depends on how we feel, network effects, Metcalfe's law, Reed's law. We're starting to uncover these over time. Someone sent me $20. I sent him $15 back. Call it DeFi yield. So I just want to remind you, during a bull market, you got to prepare yourself mentally, right? That's pretty much what happens, friends. There's a positive flywheel effect that appears. So as you're waiting for this period of time, I know it seems like a fast stretch, but yeah, markets do get silly. You just got to wait for that period of time. You know, there's very, very, common stock market saying you buy from pessimists and you sell to optimists. People who are pessimistic, they think it's going to get worse tomorrow, worse next month, worse next year. They're selling. When it's euphoria, people are optimistic for the future. They say it's going to get better tomorrow, better next year, better next month, better. And usually the prices go exuberant. Invest in a community, not a narrative. The community friendship will withstand any bear attack and make it to the land of the green times. So that is one common theme we have here in cryptocurrency. I put all the highest value content in crypto here for you. I synthesize all of it. You got to invest in a community, not a narrative. And the narratives are very powerful, right? They are. But the price moves first, man. The price moves first. People just make a narrative around it. Because one day you will not be front headline with your narrative. You have to invest based off that. You got to invest as if you are unpopular right now. You will be unpopular one day in the future. Because everyone, no matter what you're holding, it will happen to you. The spotlight will go to the furthest end of the crypto market and ignore you. So what's left? Die-hard believers and holders. That's what it comes down to. People who don't understand that, they're the ones who are going to be selling the lows, buying the tops because they think this time is different and everything's going to start changing right now. But that's who gets their asses handed to them. You know, friends, cryptocurrency is still the place to be. But when we say that, you got to think, right? When we say it's a place to be, where is it coming from? You know, it's growth rates. That's what it is. It's literally long-term growth rates. You ever wonder, like, why is this thing better than that? Why is that worse than that? It's because of people, how people feel. No, the rates, the number go up. But the problem is, if you use past performance, which is all you've got, you know, you can make anything look good. So if you have $20,000 to invest, you should pretty much avoid stonks, you know, because crypto is blowing it to pieces, right? Stocks grow like 7% per year. So after 10 years, you'll get about a 2x. That's the S&P 500, yeah? Unless you want to play the game of capital allocation, but, you know, most people will get their ass handed to them. That's what the stats say. 98% of people just underperform buying and holding. Literally 98% of people, even 98% of hedge funds, friends. Hedge funds. with all their money and all their stats and all their quant nerd analysts, yeah, they underperform the S&P 500. Because the S&P 500, the index is constantly betting on the winners. You're betting on the vortex. And then when the losers get smaller in the index, it gets de-weighted. Okay? So if you go all in on crypto, you could turn 20K into 400K if you threw in that 20K. Of course, then you say, okay, which coins, when, they're a whole new, it's a whole new can of worms. But you just got to believe, right? It's better to go in that world. Crypto's growing at, compare this number, man. Crypto grows at 55% per year, right? And then S&P 500 only 7%. Now, altcoins will eventually become the S&P 500, probably. It'll probably go down, probably trade like, maybe a high beta Russell 2000 stock. So it might have, 10 to 14% in a good year, 5% in a bad year. It'll eventually get to that, but we're not there yet. Okay, we're not there yet. But the only way to make it is to keep believing. I like showing you this, friends, is this constant messages. This is what the bottom of 2022 looked like. Every crypto influencer section is filled with these comments. Comparing this bear market to any other is ridiculous. The world is an entirely different place since 2020. There is zero comparison. 19 upvotes. Every single person. That was huge. My post, 3 likes. No one cared. Okay, so it's not easy, man. Delaying gratification is not easy. It's absolutely not easy, but that's why, man. Like, if it was easy, man, it wouldn't have such extreme asymmetric upside. That's something you get to learn in markets. When you see big opportunity means no one likes it. That's why you don't even ask for anybody's opinion. Don't even bother. I don't ask for anyone's opinion. I know what the answer is going to be. They don't like it. I've done so many tests. I said, what if I structure my thesis? Or what if I say this is good? Or it doesn't matter. No. If the price is down, people don't like it. And if the price is up, people love it. Okay? You will not get any answers from the crowd. It is a self-pursuing journey. You got to do it yourself. You got to be a lone wolf. That's why, friends, when I make content, okay, I don't give one flying truck, and yes, trucks do fly. Okay, I don't give a flying truck what anybody thinks. I don't care. I literally don't care. I'll hear, up or down, whatever. But yeah, I don't care. I do the research. Do you know how many times when I've done extra research myself, I just uncover like big truths with things. When it comes to journalism stories, UFO abduction stuff, cryptocurrency, because words travel around, right? But if you go and dig in, you end up finding out a lot of it's just junk. There's a lot of details people miss. The devil's in the details, they say. The critical things are in the details, That's why when everybody sells something down 99% and everyone says it's dead, you don't need much for it to be a good buy. Right, even Warren Buffett, friends. Warren Buffett at the start, you know how he made his money? Cigarette butt investing. You know that, right? So he says, imagine you're walking down the street and then you see a cigarette squashed and it's got like one last puff in it for one good puff. Pretty much what he was doing was he was buying like companies that, maybe they're not going to be around in like 10 years. But he's buying one. Maybe they're like, they used to be 100. Now they're trading at 10. He goes, but their fair value should be like 25. He goes, it's like way too low. Yeah, and he used to do that. He got into that. And that's how he made his first money. But then it was the late Charlie Munger who told him, look, man, you want to make it to the big leagues? That stuff is basically like doing swing investing. Like basically, like he's almost like scalping, swinging, positioning on smaller investments like that. He goes, you want to make the big leagues? He goes, you got to go for the stuff that you never want to sell. Yeah, he goes, that's the stuff to make it to the big leagues. That's what transformed Warren Buffett's thinking. He's like, oh, that's how he found Coca-Cola. Okay? He didn't just find Coca-Cola in a cubicle at a nightclub. He found Coca-Cola thinking about, what about their product? What's their outreach? What's their distribution? He's like, he's thinking about the future, indoctrinating Coca-Cola to kids. You see? So that's the type of thinking you need. It's not like there's no formula. It's a mindset. It really is a mindset, friends, because you don't even know what's coming your way, Kind of like, like everyone's familiar with the dating scene, like imagine there's a gentle sir. Let's say he's not that good with the ladies. He's like, not sharp with the ladies. And he might just hand over his phone to a friend who is good with the ladies and he knows how to conversate. And he just gets the friend to just talk to a girl. Like, doesn't teach you anything, He can show you the ropes at the start, but eventually you have to ride your own tricycle, right? You have to ring the bell yourself. Bring, bring on your little tricycle. It's the same thing here, right? So you can get a formula, but then, yeah, you still got to go your own way. That's very important. So we've been able to, me, being into the highest value content, I take these stock market investing principles, I apply to crypto, you know? So if I'm wrong, okay, everything goes to zero. But if I'm right, asymmetric upside, because no one else is doing it. Nobody else is doing it. What's everyone else in crypto doing? Okay. They're not tweaking their nipples, you know? They have very rounded elbows. Their postures are not straight, hunchbacks everywhere. Their chairs are not squeaky. They've skipped leg day for a long time. And it shows. Okay. They're following narratives. That's another way of saying they're following narrative. They go, what's the narrative? The narrative. Do you believe the narrative? I would like to absorb the narrative. Bro, the narrative does not care about you, you blue-pilled retailer cuck. Narrative is what you consume when you need to be entertained because you are bored and you are watching the big KOL grifters or whatever representation of the crowd's thoughts are going on at that time. There is no edge there. The narrative. Oh, what about the narrative? Whenever I hear that, friends, I still get a half chub when I hear people talk like that. Because I'm like, yes, but it's still easy. I like that. I'll be honest, I like that, you know? That's something about me. Yeah, I like people failing like that. Okay, cool. You know, you got the highest value content in crypto here for you, literally teaching you to be better, smarter, wiser, friendlier, and not to skip leg day. You want to fade it? Good. You know, like, trust me, you'll be watching my stuff. It's just you get to decide, right? You're going to be watching and learning my stuff in 2025, or are you going to be a 2029 coper? Every time I see someone not learning now, I'm like, okay, cool, see you in 2029. If I'm still around. Probably won't be. This stuff doesn't last forever, you know? So you get to see now, friends, we are applying all these things in cryptocurrency real time. You know, it's you got to be careful as well when it comes to these, because we do walk a fine line. You know, the crypto's full of contradictions, friends. Crypto investing's full of contradictions. Like, don't marry your bags, but also have conviction. Okay, don't marry your bags. Oh, get out when it's not working. Okay, but also, like, you know, what about the conviction? So it's not so easy. Yes, it's so easy. You have to concentrate. That's what we're doing. You diversify too much or dilute yourself, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get the market return. You have to beat the market return, right? That's why in cryptocurrency land. We are in, or I am in, we're in an area where no one else has figured it out yet. You know, every time I see someone come to crypto and they do their shitty little PE ratios and revenue earnings, they try to value a crypto like stocks, I go, sweet, we're still early, thank you. You know, like they literally, they watched Bitcoin grow from a penny to $100,000. There is zero cash flow. There is zero PE. There's no use case. There's nothing. And it's still there. And it survived many booms and busts. And they never thought to ask why. I asked why. That's how I got here where I am today. That's why we're going to win. We are winning. Yes, we are winning. The fundamentals are on side. I don't give a shit if the prices go down. The fundamentals are going up. That's all that matters to me. And these people coming in, you know, not going to make it. That's okay. You know, someone has to come by the top. That's why it's a believer's cycle. People want something to believe in. What do you think? Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.